welcome to my channel. I recorded this is on a campaign. I'm currently playing on Legendary with Grandmaster mode, and this was my second time attempting a Protect the Guardsman mission with the Technophage. The first time, I kind of split up my forces, and it didn't go so hot. I mean, I'm sure if you've experienced with the game, you kind of know that these are fairly hard missions, even without, even on lower difficulties and whatnot. In this map here, actually, I didn't actually do any voice recording. Well, I just was recording a session. I wasn't actually making any voice recorders, so I'm gonna sort of do some commentary as we go. In this one, I think I probably fight like 100 foes. I think if you count it out, like there's like nine pods, and multiple of them have like like 10 or more enemies in it. So it's definitely a challenge. The one reason I thought that this would be possible for me was that I noticed it's in my range of my prognosticars, so I knew that it was gonna be mostly melee, and so like if this was where the enemy type was gonna be mostly like Chaos Marines and stuff like that, it would be much more challenging. Like I've done them, yeah, and it's certainly a challenging mission anyway. But yeah, because it's mostly melee, it definitely is slightly easier than it is the other parts. So anyway, now with my intro sort of thing, I'll try and do some commentary on what I'm thinking sort of thing when I'm doing my show here kind of thing. And so one of the things, like I say, and before I divvied up my guys, and this time I'm choosing to just go to gather all my guys together, because the reason I don't want to go towards splitting my guys up is that it just starts to slow your ability to clear, and then you just have that one or two enemies that continue to linger, and then when more guys are coming in, then it can start to present a challenge. So by just being able to have all my forces together, and I can try and clear these guys as quick as I can, sort of thing. So unfortunately, one of the things on my team here, I've got the Tech Range, and he's his ability to basically use the plasma blaster in order to push guys. I use that quite a lot. It's very effective in pushing guys off the map. Like there's a lot of places on this map to throw guys off, which is kind of the part of its appeal, and also probably another reason why this might have been easier than, say, some of the other maps for protecting the guardsmen kind of thing. There's just a lot of opportunity to dump guys off the map. So, unfortunately, it burns and dies. It's relatively severe. I did lose some armor there, which, yeah, these guys not happy about that. They're definitely more challenging when they awaken. It's not something you get in the base game, like throwing the grenades to strip your armor. And you can see that I got one guy. I thought my my apothecary, he's not, his damage output is not that great. So he's the one I stripped off so I could go get the resources, and he'll come back. The main thing he's in here is for just staying power. He's got a lot of servitors and servo skills, I should say, and so he'll do like a lot of healing, a lot of debuffing later in the map, and that's the key to being able to sustain. So a lot of people would prefer somebody who's got more damage output, but then your guys start to get attrition down, and eventually if they can fall, and once that, then it's like a set of dominoes, and you're gonna find yourself quickly out of fighting capability. So this was a little bit. I should learn this, but yeah, like obviously, like fighting in the fire was a little bit not forecasted.
Protect me.
So fortunately, again, they're all melee guys and stuff like that, so the guardsman can have a little bit of an effect on the fight. Like I've done later times where like it's all just like the ranged guys that do that, and there's just so many ranged guys coming in, they just suppressing and whatnot. The guardsmen just have no chance they get mopped up here, sort of thing. So in this case, they actually managed to sustain fairly well. And hold them off long enough for me to deal with the guys coming in from the other side.
This can't be happening.
And just more to the meat grinder, man. It's just more guys spawning in. So yeah.
No.
This is this is why having AOE is really important, just so you can deal with those chaff. I don't actually have, or no, I do have. Yeah, I do have one prognosticar. Not working here. I do have one Purgator that's able to do some AOE damage. And the other thing where it's really effective is I do have the Tech Marine with the plasma blast or whatever.
Yeah. Moving quickly. For Titan.
This here wasn't all that, sometimes I'm not doing like always the most optimal play and stuff like that, but you're just chipping away at the guy. I would say that the planting of explosives there on the location of the map, sometimes it can be really, almost feel like you just auto blow it up right off the bat, because it can potentially threaten your guys later on, sort of thing, when things are coming in.
Foul intruders, they will not prevail.
So this is what I was saying, that like you can see the spawning groups, they're mostly melee. And so I don't have to, you can do a lot of AOE to sort of like clean up, gobs them and stuff like that. And they generally have less hit points. I mean, they only have 6 hit points, and like the secondary spawn guys only have, I think, 2 hit points. So, they're relatively easy to clear with some AOE attacks. One thing you'll notice later on, near when I get near the end of the mission, stuff like that, there's actually a bit of a weird bug that also helped out a little bit. Like it delayed one pod from coming at my guys. I don't think it would have made much of a difference, but it certainly could have. I mean, it's you never know what's going to be the straw that sort of sets up failure and stuff like that. So, but anyway, like there's one pod. There's some weird bug where one of the guys gets stuck off in the black, where you can't see, and the pod sort of chases them off, but they don't actually do anything until I re-trigger them. So, you can see I'm kind of just blowing up as many guys as I can early on. And I love the enrage ability. Like, it's just, in terms of doing crowd control, it gives a lot of predictability. And, yeah, it can just, you can sort of handle entire groups. And it's super effective, especially against Chaos Marines. It literally, it can take an entire pod of Chaos Marines out of the fight. So you have like multiple turns, like at least 2 turns to sort of, kill them, take out their teeth, kind of thing. So. The only scary one right now, like this demon, he can do a fair bit of damage, so kind of focusing on him, and I've killed most of the other guys that were behind him. Hopefully, I can't remember if the guardsmen here take him out. I think they do. Yeah, there they go. So, unfortunately, he doesn't have a resurrect either, because that would have been annoying. Yeah, so these guys go in, they murder everybody, and then they get kind of glitched out. Yeah, that was a little bit scary when you got 10 guys coming in and they get the swollen flesh, 3 armor on each. I mean, that's a lot of extra hit points, and there's not an easy way to sort of, it's basically adding 30 hit points that I gotta cleave off.
More cops join their ranks.
So the combat servitors are a little bit unpredictable in terms of sometimes they'll be affected by environmental effects, and sometimes they won't. Which it's for predictability sort of thing. Is sometimes it's a little bit frustrating. You don't always know when they're going to take damage.
I'm a master. Gratitude. Yes, sir. Shall not pass.
And here, just loving the enrage. Takes all the range guys just out of the fight.
For the Emperor! I must sanctify my rounds.
Yeah, see there, I wasn't expected. Where like I took a bunch of damage unexpectedly from like a weird explosion. I definitely find explosions are a frustration in the game because they're not easily predictable. It would be much nicer, like, or if they had some sort of tool where it actually would show you like what are the effects of you know, exploding something and whatnot.
Protect me.
So anyway, so one of my guys nearly went down there from just a random explosion. I had to run him away, and fortunately I have a lot of healing in my party, so I was able to get him back into the fight. Like, I almost always take apothecaries on every mission. You know, they have basically unlimited heal. I mean, as long as they get willpower, so you can regenerate. But the other thing too is, like, you know, they can increase the number of service skills. And service skills are probably, like, you know, pound for pound, some of the best utility in the game, and because it's like free actions. And so, I mean, I love servo skulls, and there's just so many times where they're useful, and having multiple servo skulls, like, you know, even I think before you get like advanced models and stuff like that, you can get up to like 3 servo skulls, you know, actually up to 6, you know, so 2, and they can equip 2, they have an extra servo slot. So they can equip up to like 6 servo skulls, and give you a lot of utility during the mission.
They come to their doom.
I kind of, I was trying to race through to, like, this is like an hour and a half, but trying to cut it down as much as I could. So it's not the best editing I've ever done. I probably could have cut out some of that, you know, sort of dead space when the warp gates are opening up, kind of thing.
What is your will?
Another reason why I really like the Purgator is just doing the vulnerable. You know, it's just a force multiplier, and you can really take out, like, you know, taking out a lot of guys there.
Blessed ammunition depleted.
Like, everybody talks about using the interceptors all the time and whatnot, like, but, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad, but, like, you know, I've heard people complain about Purgators and whatnot. They're a great class and whatnot, and the Apothecary too, another class of people seem to sort of shun, and another, like, in my opinion, you know, a great class, like a, you know, almost a must-take on almost every mission, especially if you're going long like this, you know, or if you're going against like a Doom Spread or something like that. You're gonna want to have an Apothecary with you, you know, because you're just gonna be doing lots and lots of you're gonna there's gonna be a lot of pods spawning in, and you need that staying power in order to handle, like, you know, 7, 9 pods and stuff like that, because you're just going to get attrition down. Even if you take 2 hit points each, you know, that's potentially going to put you where somebody's gonna get a critical wound or die. Oh yeah, I already used my torpor there to buy some time. I really like it. I don't see too many people talk about torpor much and whatnot, but, like, buying you that one extra turn, like when especially when there's a lot of melee guys, you know, I find it, you know, I take it like in the early game. That's almost every I take it every time. Like, it's probably my second. It's probably the second stratagem that I take or research and whatnot.
I must rearm.
It's like great when you're going against like a bloom spawn or a spreader, you know, and you just need to sort of, you just want to focus them down, and you don't want to deal with the troops. You can sort of cast that, you know, lock everything down, and then sort of, you know, have that one extra turn to finish it off without getting molested. So I wanted to say, like, that this mission was like, you know, 4 versus 100, but actually that's not true. I mean, I do have the guardsmen, and they actually do, you know, they do tie up guys. So, you know, it's actually, well, I guess, what is it, 24 or 25 against, so it's like 7, yeah, 21 plus my 4 guys, yeah, 25 guys against 100. So, but still like a lot of, you know, 4-to-1 odds against you.
No!
So I'm not sure what happens. Like, I'll have to pay attention here. One of these guys runs off. You know, normally they don't leave the confines of the fortification and whatnot. But one of these guys kind of runs off outside the fortification, and then he sort of pulls up all of the demons with him, and then they just kind of get trapped in a loop, I think.
I killed one!
Joy handle, whip.
Oh, monster!
They come to their doom. My wrath is restored, brother. I'm a master of my craft.
So, like, say he had taken all that damage, just, you know, unexpectedly, and now, you know, he's back into the fight.
Durant. We bring. I must rearm.
It's interesting, some of the changes that they made. Like, they added the vulnerable to the Servo Skull that can spot guys at range and stuff like that. It suddenly becomes like a useful, like when it was just able to spot enemies in the Fog of War, like that was such a useless skill and stuff like that. Like, but actually giving it some additional utility with the vulnerable, like it's actually something that I take regularly and stuff like that. Like I don't think I have an Enrage Servo Skull, so I took that instead. If I had Enrage, I probably would have taken that. But yeah, I mean, doing vulnerable, like, and it's like I say, it's a free action, and you know, you can just, you know, you're doing 2 extra damage on, so like a free action. Like if it costs you, like when your Purgator uses vulnerable, you know, it's costing me an action, so you have to, like, this is a value you're going to get back from is the value you're going to get back from that missed 1 action and stuff like that, you know, gonna make it worthwhile. Like, so you got to be doing, you know, multiple guys, or like somebody who's got a lot of hit points where you're gonna have to hit them, you know, 5-6 times and stuff like that in order to take them down and
Soon
whatnot.
to the unworthy.
So this is where like grenades love them, or did I think I did the plasma blaster or whatever.
I shall add to the charge. Their fire is useless.
Taking point.
Yeah, so you saw that one guy. He ran over. He ran actually out of the territory. And I think it's because his hit points were really low.
Confirmed. Firing on target. Damn it! Yeah.
But once he gets like out of the you'll notice that my sight vision disappears once the rest of the guys in the fort get killed, and then once I lose vision there, then the rest of the guys don't seem to trigger on him, but they're sort of pinned in place for some reason.
Warning. One sanctified servitor remains. Recommend defensive tactics.
Yeah, so I lose my vision, but there's one guy still stuck just off to the side, and he draws the rest of them back. This guy's being super annoying, like, up there in full cover, and it just, you know, he's very difficult to sort of figure out. And you know, he's got the debuff and stuff, and the armor piercing attack and whatnot. So he's definitely somebody you want to get rid of.
See one.
I think this is where I lose. Yeah, I think I lose him here.
Eat this. It bleeds.
But I mean, the great thing about him, he's just soaking up a whole bunch of damage that potentially would be. Yeah, I lost him. Lost my guy. But he's soaked up a whole bunch of damage, you know, and it's basically extra hit points onto your team.
Ready to serve. Standing ready. I have sanctified my
So
rounds.
I actually probably could have just pushed him off here.
We bring death. I must sanctify
Yeah,
my
see,
rounds.
I push him back sort of thing, but actually I could have. I think without triggering him, I could have moved off to the side and then pushed him off the bridge there. But he dies here anyway, so.
Focus fire.
Unleash me.
Love it. This guy's just like auto. I think he's got like a 70% chance to auto reload, and yeah. Normally, I'm a big fan of melee, like especially with just scars and whatnot. But if you can get that auto load up there, then you know they can actually do quite a bit of damage, especially with the AOE potential. Also really good. Feels a little bit. I mean, again, it was a free action. That's why I used the vulnerable here, you know, just so I can take that guy down.
Here. It will be done.
I really love the vulnerable on a guardsman mission too, because you know it takes their piddling 1 point of damage and increases it to 3, and you know they can start to actually have an effect.
You cannot see us. Come at me now. Die! 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 Ah! It bleeds! It bleeds! Throne of Terror!
Chosen advances. Yes, master.
At your command. Feel the battle. I am here to serve.
Love the grenades.
For the Emperor.
I mean, if my guy wasn't surrounded there, I could have used potentially used my my plasma blast to knock them off. But you know, I mean, I could have I guess bring them up first. Maybe I could have potentially saved a grenade for later.
We are the hammer.
Yeah, I think the point there was here is to break the Overwatch. Love the sound of the submarine's range weapon.
See you fall, brothers.
Like I gotta say, like the animations and the audio, like in this game, are top notch. They're really enjoyable. The way their guys move, jumping over chasms and stuff like that. It really gives the game a great feel.
I must Emperor, protect me. Firing on target! Ah! Fool, monster!
47.
Those exploding guys, they used to give me a lot more trepidation on that. Now that I know that you can use a critical, like a precision strike, in order to remove their exploding ability, it makes them a lot less terrifying. Like Plague is probably one of the most dreaded debuffs in the game, just because it's like damage over time to your guys, and the more times you get plagued, like it can really stack up the damage on you. And I do like the changes they made to bleed. I mean, I'm still not a huge fan of it, because like my preference is to kill versus like if you leave them alive, then it's a lot less predictable about what's gonna happen, kind of thing. So, and they can get some damage off before they die. So I would prefer an ability that's gonna kill versus bleed. But there are some uses, and this is actually a great usage of it. you know, where a lot of guys, you know, they're damaged, and then you know they run up to me, but they can't get in range, and then the bleed removes them from the fight.
Feel my wrath. Now, strike back.
I'm on legendary difficulty, so everything takes a ton in order to stun. I mean, stunning is like, you know, if you're on lower difficulties, like, man, you can get off some massive stun chains and stuff like that. And but yeah, even on high difficulty where I'm having to really dedicate my be aggressive in order to get the stun, they're still very, very effective. I mean, you know, that +1 action point per guy. This here again is like the unpredictability of explosions and whatnot. Like, I wasn't in the blast radius there, sort of thing, but now I'm stuck. I'm going to take damage from moving through the fields of agony. I'm at least it's a field of agony and not a plague field, which again, you know, is like my bane. I really love it when you can get some plague immunity armor and whatnot that can sort of take that out of you know, remove that off the table as an aggravation. Probably, yeah. Sometimes I do this a lot, sort of thing, where like I waste, like I end up killing this guy anyway, but I waste. Oh, I guess no. I guess I did breaking. That was important. I thought I actually ended up killing him before moving that guy. In which case I wasted the disrupt, but.
In our arms.
The enemy weakens. It will be done.
Advancing! For the Imperium! Die! For the Emperor! Fall, monster!
Slither.
Death is our creed. Glory to Zyphos!
What power!
So we're starting to get things down. We've got, I think, 2 more pods that are out there. This group and then the one group of demons. So I killed that one guy just to get enough willpower so that I could do a attack there.
My focus fails me.
And again, just sort of gathering up some willpower for him.
Armed and ready.
What is your will?
Focus! Fire! Praise the Emperor. Pure among impurity. My blade is ever ready.
This was, I think, a bit of a blunder on my part. I think, you know, I pushed him back so that he couldn't, you know, the guardsman could get away. But I still was going to be within his explosion radius. I just didn't want the. I think the reason I pushed him back actually was because he was close to the seed combat servitor there, and I didn't want him to get plagued, which makes here.
Like my eye on you.
But he's my last seed, so got to keep him alive. Otherwise, everything goes to hell.
Die!
Yeah, I think later on you'll notice where, like, even though I'm standing right next to a guy,
The Emperor likes
yeah. See, that I should have just done that right off the bat.
We slay the darkness.
I wonder if that actually was part of my plan, that I baited out the block, the parry, and so that I could push him off. I wonder if that was going through my mind. It's been a few days since I did this, so I don't remember if that was actually my intention or not, or whether I just did a whoops. A little bit disappointed here. You know, you're kind of hoping that the flames get spread out, but in this case, they just go out. I was kind of hoping that there would be a lot of flame kicking around there that would weaken them up as they're coming in. I probably should have done that earlier, so you could get more guys inside the vulnerability there.
In cover! Damn it! Firing on target! For the Imperium!
Really wish the guardsmen would just go into Overwatch, then take those shots, which are completely useless. I mean, it kind of, I guess it puts the onus on your team being like the competent, you know. But I mean, guardsmen, you know, like they shouldn't be complete idiots and stuff like that. And that's the vulnerable with rocks the Casbah. Yeah, my reload, auto reload didn't trigger there. Trying to you know, move them out in the open so that if the guardsmen do take shots at them, they'll have some effect.
Ready to serve.
So here I'm just trying to gather up some willpower on my healer.
Reload required. Ready. Moving swiftly.
The other like the other time when apothecaries get really good is they can get a chainsaw arm that that does bonus damage against humanoids and stuff like that. So like all these Chaos Marines and whatnot, they additional 2 points of damage, and I think actually up to 4 points of damage when it's fully upgraded and stuff like that. So you can do like 7 points of damage. Well, 5 anyway, so 5 or 7, and then they actually they're competitive with other classes in terms of their melee output, and then they can become really effective in those cases. But unless you have to have a weapon to make that, to enable that sort of functionality.
For the Imperium! Emperor, protect me.
47.
So again, like another, just a chaff pod. Again, I think that's kind of the reason I was able to successfully do this mission. If that was like 4 or 5 Chaos Marines coming in, it could be a lot more dire, especially without having Enrage anymore. Like I lost my Enrage Combat Servitor, and I don't have a Servo Skull with Enrage on my party.
Standing ready.
I do have the Lasso, but they're coming from an angle where there's no place to sort of dump them off the map. Like if they're coming in from a place where I can dump them off the map, then they're much easier to deal with. But anyway, in this case, it's not. It's just a whole bunch of melee guys, so easy to deal with.
For the Emperor. Blessed ammunition depleted. Yeah. Unleash me. Weapon we on. I am here to serve. At once. I will fire when ready.
Firing on target! Overwatch! They won't get me here. Got my eye on you.
Slither. Heaven.
Another force for the Knights of Titan!
I had actually meant to do a count of how many enemies I actually face off. I mean, I just did, back of the napkin math in order to determine like there's 100 enemies, but it possibly could be a few more or a few less.
Durant. This one will. Empty.
My blade is yours. What's reading, my brothers?
At your command. The warp resists my will. Moving now. Denounce. Sold to the unworthy.
So I'm not fully sure what was going through my mind to cause me to move up. I don't know if that was a misclick or I mean, maybe I just wanted to pin him in place.
Taking cover! Yeah! Good shot! Shot confirmed! Fall, monster!
So I think we're kind of just on the mop-up duty at this point here. I think it's pretty evident that we're going to make it to the end. Nobody's on death's door.
Yes, Commander. Face me.
Unleash me.
Throne of terror!
So I think I did that so I could gain the willpower,
Feel my wrath. Mercy in
and
death.
so I could do the aim shot here to get rid of his exploding ability.
My will is spent. We slay the darkness.
My blade is yours.
And I shoot him here rather than melee him because like he potentially could block.
Resist.
Not sure there's much utility to doing that, to be honest. I should have just shot him.
With haste.
Or just ran up and melee him too would have been another. Well, maybe not melee, because like if he moves into melee on me, then he gets it takes damage and gets pushed back.
I got it!
Less than nothing.
For the Emperor. The enemy is wounded. Aye, sir. I am his will. Standing ready.
I think I was just choosing who I wanted to get there on that one.
We're saved!
So now we've cleared up everything except for, like I say, those bugged out demons. I'm not even sure why I'm doing that. This seems completely pointless.
Focus. Fire.
Again, I wasn't 100% sure that they were bugged out at this point, but so I'm just sort of waiting to see if they'll come into me. So now I realize I'm gonna have to go after them and
I got it!
chase them down.
Ready to serve. Moving now. The Emperor likes our path.
Your orders.
Here.
I am here to serve. Yes, sir.
I just didn't want to trigger them just yet until I had all my guys. But yeah, so you can see that they get now they get triggered again. they kill the guardsmen in the fog of war there, and then they start coming at me.
Guardsman!
The orders.
So I was trying to see if I could push him off the map here, but he actually lands on the explosives, and then which pushes him back.
Focus! Fire up!
Yes, Commander. For the Emperor.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we're pretty much all done but the crying. Don't actually get him he doesn't actually run through the flames. There's still 2 guys left to kill. Yeah, I mean, it's doable. I mean, I think I had just the right combination of guys. Like, I've tried doing this mission a couple more times. I generally try and avoid it if I can, but sometimes, you know, it's the only one that's close by that you can actually get to. And I've tried to do this a couple of times with other teams, but like they're generally greener. Like they're only like level 3, level 4, you know, and you just don't have the right combination of equipment and skills and stuff like that. That I can do this again, and then again, like this was, I knew that this was going to be a heavy melee based map, so you know, it definitely was easier than some of the other options, like where you're starting to get like heavier, like it's more Chaos Marine based and stuff like that. So. Here's one of my favorite things to do with Purgators. Another great strength of them is just their melee really sucks until it's like those situations where it's one shot, one kill kind of thing. So I'm just dumping them off the map.
Reload required.
And that's all she wrote. So appreciate you guys taking a look, and yeah. Have a good day.
So we may untangle those vile seeds from that blessed machinery.